Hi vinyl community, it's Martin back again. I wanted to do an immediate response to James Griffiths, the Vinyl Professor's video that he did yesterday, or was it the day before, with his mate or new friend, Jolon, was it? Jolion? I can never say that anyway. It was about shoegazing. Now, I grew up in the area, Thames Valley, which is north, northwest and west of London. So you have a couple of motorways that run west out of London, and this area is Thames Valley. It got associated with this sort of shoegaze or sort of thing in the media at the time, and there's a lot to dispel, I think, about this sort of stuff. Like a lot of the stuff you showed yesterday, James, I wouldn't really term it all shoegaze, as much as it was incredibly interesting and like right up my street sort of stuff. I thought in response I would do like I picked out top 10 bands or what I could find which I would describe best as that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, I remember I had like my DMs and they were all scuffed, and then you had a very certain look of jeans and these sort of t-shirts, but then it could be said about a lot of things in the early mid-90s that looked like that, like say Carter fans, or even as far as like grunge, that sort of stuff. And people didn't just like one sort of thing anyway, did they? Really? Well, not many people, I don't think. So without further ado, here is some of the stuff I wanted to show. Here is my, as it were, let's get to the soul of shoegazing. So a band which did not make the top 10, or in my 10, or a couple of bands, there was Catherine Wheel, because I wouldn't really describe them in that sort of thing, to be honest. They were more just rock. Maybe at the start they had some elements, but they were more not shoegazing. Another band, very poppy band from Thames Valley, Reading, Slough area, was this band, and I have quite a few of the records by this band. Thousand Yard Stare, the red one. Now, shoegazing was definitely a 12-inch kind of thing. Okay, some of them did do albums, but not all of them did. While I'm talking about this band, I also remember going to a festival in Slough, and that was very much a day of that kind of thing. I haven't got the ticket or anything. I have got a few tickets to show you from my ticket book, but yeah, that was headlined by Ride, from what I remember, and it was Curb there as well. And I remember having to get a lift back to phone up my grandfather to come and get us, because it went on late, and I don't even remember what year it was anyway, but a lot of the tickets for this sort of stuff, I don't know whether you kept them or just didn't have them. Here's something else. Here's a Thousand Yard Stare, a membership card receipt on a piece of funny old paper. I don't remember where that was, but I certainly do remember that this was Thousand Yard Stare again, a one-sided record that I think we got free at a gig. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I've rambled a bit there for nearly 5 minutes. So here we go, without further ado. Here is a ticket here. Civic Centre Aylesbury. Now this was almost like a later manifestation of Friars, which was a very famous club in Aylesbury and other locations, with many people in the 70s playing, doing a gig out of London to test new stuff out. Now this is why Aylesbury apparently has a David Bowie statue, the first one in the world, because he first revealed Ziggy Stardust or something at a gig there. So number 10, well, not, it's not in any specific order, but anyway, is Curve. Now Curve were a band with Dean Garcia making all the noises on the guitar and Tony Halliday singing. Like Shoegaze, you couldn't really always understand what she was singing about. One track here had a rapper on it. I speak your every word, JC001 there. And yeah, that was a shoegazy sort of band. I would say if you wanted anything by Curve, I would get that. That was their first 12-inch. I've got a box here with Curve written on it, which came with one of these. And we've got the second EP. It was Frozen. This one. So it's very much based around as many tracks as you can put onto a 12-inch, really. They did do albums, but because I was working in the record shop at the time, they did not sell. It was very much 12-inch and a little bit like dance culture. That was the format. There's a couple of promos I must have got given at the time. That's called Blacker 3-Tracker. And then here's another one with just a white label with a thing, Curve stamped on it. And then here's the sort of thing you used to get in there. Fait Accompli, it's called. They had quite a few chart successes, top 40. And like a lot of these bands, I've no idea what happened to them, or if they went on to other things, or what else, you know. Revolver. I cannot tell you anything about Revolver, except actually it's on Hut. Now, I went to see Smashing Pumpkins a few times. Once, I think, on the guest list. I could probably show you a ticket, but I do not remember which time it was. But I definitely they were supported by label mates. I think the Verve. Let me see. I did think I had it here somewhere. Well, there's a Smashing Pumpkins at Brixton. I know that it wasn't that one there. 1993. It wasn't that time that they supported them, from what I remember. Okay, moving on. Okay, another band that played that almost infamous Slough gig. I don't think you can see that there, but it's someone's just written Slowdive on it. So this is, I think, debut 12-inch. Or maybe not, I'm not sure, but there is a poster only signed by 3 of the members. Now, I know somebody that I'm hoping will get signed the remaining missing member, because he knows him. And then if that didn't have a fold down it, I could probably put that up on the wall or something. There's a sort of gigs that they play. A majority of them are in the southeast of England. They're Oxford, London, Eulu, Northampton, Salisbury, Reading. A couple up north. Neil, there's Rachel, and Nick. Some of the records I did have, other records I did have, but I don't know what's happened to them now, so yeah, back in a minute. And then at some point I've picked up the second album, just a music on vinyl repress. Right. Got any more tickets to show you here? There's another Smashing Pumpkins one there. February, Valentine's Day, 1992, £7, Astoria. Well, the Astoria doesn't exist anymore. It got knocked down, and it's going to be part of the Crossrail in London, Tottenham Court Road Station, I think. Sorry about this. Well, yeah, there's a couple of gigs here. There's one which I would almost describe as shoegaze, perhaps. It's Roller Coaster, Jesus and Mary Chain. And I've written on there who played Jesus and Mary Chain, My Bloody Valentine, who I don't have anything by, strangely enough. Dinosaur Jr., well, maybe not, and Blur. And then there was another one here, which was sort of some gigs together. Sponsored by NME, all profits go to Shelter, which is a homeless charity in London. A house of love and support. Maybe not shoegaze, but interesting nevertheless. Next band, Chapterhouse. Whirlpool. This is an album. And a 12-inch tracks. Mesmerize is the main one on here from 1991 on Dedicated. And then I did have the album to this, but this was Chapterhouse. It was called Blood Music, I think, the album. Remixed by sort of a dance, more like ambient sort of group, which is very good. I don't know what's happened to the album though. It's gone. I think I'm a bit more meticulous now about not mislaying things. Surprisingly now to Australia, and this band which I picked up this album back in the day. It's number 471 of 500, from recorded November-December 1991 on the Summershine label. It's signed, and this is very shoegaze. How they ended up with that sound, if they ever even came to the UK, I have no idea. But you can almost tell just these sort of covers are very that sort of art. Not quite 4AD, but not very often do they have, or they promoted themselves for their looks. Not because of what they look like, but I suppose they've just had their heads down and were shoegazing. Don't mind my wife walking past. She doesn't know what I'm talking about anyway.
Talking to self.
Yes. You're talking to yourself, I am. Okay, here's a band called Pale Saints. And I think they were from Leeds. Leeds like. And that I would describe as shoegaze as well. Swirly guitars, ethereal sounds in the background, and those kind of lyrics where you do not understand what anybody is singing about. Having said that, I would put Spiritualized into the shoegaze canter. Which I know James and Jolon did yesterday. And 1, 2, 3 to go. The Telescopes. That cover. This is on Creation, 1991. I've gone all this way without having my cup of tea. I've got one, thanks. Now, I've shown this before. I have done a video, if you look back, where I've just gone through a square of IKEA Expedit, and it's all indie. So there was some shoegaze stuff in there, and there's also a lot of Manchester type stuff, and music of that period. This is Bark Psychosis Scum, which I talk about a bit more in depth, where they've recorded it in London, and then you can hear in the background at one point a church, some people, gospel sort of singers in the background, and they left it in there. This is a one-sided 12-inch. I think that's sort of shoegaze, although they would probably consider themselves far more arty and that kind of thing. Which brings me on to the last one. I just have a 12-inch by them.
Sneak out.
Yeah, you sneak out. Yeah, well, I've nearly finished anyway. Leave Them All Behind by Ride. A bit of an epic song, this one. So, well, actually, Chrome Waves is quite good as well. That is on Creation 1992. Yeah, so those are my. That is my response to shoegazing. And I know an expert I would recommend, who apparently might well be doing a video about it, will be Graham Watson. Hi Graham, I look forward to seeing what you're going to have to say about this. I think you would know a lot more about it than me, to be honest with you. Just seeing if there are any more tickets that sort of sum up that kind of thing. Yeah, maybe it was a bit of a middle class movement. Experimenting with your guitar, pedals and whatnots. But nonetheless, it's looked back on with very fondness, I suppose, and cool retrospectiveness. And it's probably influenced, even though it was influenced by other things, I'm sure, like when I was doing these 10, I was thinking that's a bit psychedelic, really. But yeah, it must be this thing that kids now find out about, and then take elements of it and put it in whatever they're doing, really. Yeah, let's leave it at that while I ramble on for another minute. So, thanks for watching. I hope that was interesting to you. Yeah. Okay, I'll finish it just 18 minutes, and thanks for watching again. And more videos soon. Cheers. Bye.